Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Jai Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Jai Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Jai Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Hello and what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Jai Gobind and this is your Channel for Grace. Thank you guys so much for being here live, and thank you to those of you that are watching the replay. Those of you that are here in the chat, hello. Kim, how are you? Boo Barth, welcome in. Sage, so good to see you here. Erica, welcome. Miss Kimmy, hello. Veronica and Shannon, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me tonight. So today we have the Magic of Venus show where I do this once a week. Hello, Valerie. And we go over what Venus is doing in the astrology for the week and how that's going to be affecting us based off of our Sun, Moon, Venus, and rising signs. And I'm going to pull a card for each of the zodiac signs. I've got the cards ready to determine which sign goes first, and they're not in order, so that's actually what makes it fun. But we'll talk about today about how on Thursday, Venus is making a very powerful opposition to Chiron, who is the wounded healer. And we'll talk about the details of that and what it means and how it's going to affect us collectively, how it's going to affect us individually. But before we get into the astrology, hello, Deb, welcome in. I did want to remind you that I'm doing that special, and I believe now it's just 1 week left of the special. If you want to purchase a starseed ancestry reading, this is the perfect time to do it if you've never had one before, because I'm giving away one of the free essential oils. And I have the Aura Mist, and I also have the roller bottles, which I'm actually going to put some of this on. This is the Sirius Star System. And so I'm giving one free one away when you purchase a starseed reading. And it depends on what your starseed markings are. So nice what your oil is going to be, but these are to help you connect with your starseed ancestry. And I'm so excited that I have they've finally been released. So very excited about that. Oh, thanks. Yeah. And I will be getting to your reading tomorrow, Sage. I'm glad you're here so you can get that little update. But yeah, so that deal is only going through August 31st. I'll be doing a different deal for September, as well as a sale on the Starseed essential oil line on my Etsy shop for Labor Day weekend. Hello, Liz Bear, welcome in. So that is that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about. We are right in the middle of the mini soul healing retreat. Has anyone been participating in that. We had over 100 people sign up, and I'm so excited to be able to share that. Hello, Danny. Welcome in. And on Saturday, I'm going to be doing a special webinar, and we'll get to share our experiences within the mini soul healing retreats. So that has been really, really fun. We also have a essential oil challenge coming up September 13th, I believe. We're going to be focusing on balancing the chakras. And today I had a very beautiful Reiki session from Shannon. She's stories from the Lion's Mane in the chat. It was beautiful, and she's also thinking of running a level 1 Reiki course. So the whole talk about chakras and balancing the chakras is something that is really important for us to do, and especially with this Virgo season, it is about taking care of ourselves. So that is the focus of that challenge, and we can't wait to begin. I'm also going to be this weekend I'm going to be talking about the Moon Goddess training, and if you're new and you've never done the Moon Goddess training before, I can't freaking wait. It's going to be happening in October. And I have lots of other surprises coming up. So I'm just really excited about, the growth of the channel and being back on Instagram too. So make sure that you guys follow me at Channel for Grace on Instagram. I'm also on MeWe, and we have a group on MeWe called Channel for Grace Starseed Soul Tribe. And that's where you can connect as a group with some of the other members that follow me here and all that good stuff. And to make sure you stay connected, please download my free moon astrology guide, which tells you what your psychic gifts are based off of your moon sign. And then it enters you into my email list. I send out a weekly moon magic report, the astrology and the horoscope for the week ahead for the collective. So those are really amazing. Hello, Karina. Good to see you here. And we said hi to Valerie, but yes. Oh, you're loving the retreat. Oh, yes. I love that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You're welcome. Shannon, that was great. I feel really calm now and like relaxed. I'm like, oh yes, I needed that really bad. It's been one hell of a week for me so far. Just been dealing with a lot. I don't know what you guys are experiencing, but it's just been so much going on. It's really overwhelming, and it's kind of the theme of the year. Like if you thought 2020 was crazy, then I said just wait till 2021 comes, dude. Insanity. But let's talk about Venus, because that's what the focus of this show is all about. And Venus is the planet of love and beauty. She is currently in a phase called her remembering and embodiment phase. So she is herself remembering and embodying the goddess in the sign of the last conjunction that she had with the sun was in Gemini, and it was in the summer, and it was right during one of the eclipses, I believe. And we actually are going to see 9 months later, she conjuncts the sun again. The next time is going to be in the sign of Capricorn. So it's going to be during Capricorn season. So we've got Libra season, Scorpio season, Sag, and then Capricorn will see that conjunction again with Venus and the sun. So we're in between this phase of Venus, and she goes through different phases, 13 phases to be exact. And it's just like a powerful thing to follow the phases of Venus. If you are curious to learn more, like the details of it, I actually have an entire module 5 on the student portal, courses.channelforgrace.guru, GURU, is where I host all of my courses. And module 5 is all about Venus and the magic of Venus. So I would highly recommend you become aware of that. And we will talk about Venus a lot in the Moon Goddess training this year, because we'll be moving into that season, preparing for that powerful conjunction. So I'm really excited about that. Veronica, my week has been crazy too. Yes. Hello, Tamika. Welcome in. And so Venus, being the goddess of love and beauty, she rules relationships. She rules the realm of relationships. And this week, she's making an opposition to Chiron, the wounded healer. Let me pull up the chart so you guys can have a visual of it while I actually talk about it. But so we've got Venus on one end, and we've got Chiron on the other end. And Chiron is known as the wounded healer. When Chiron, he's more than just a wounded healer. I've taken many astrology courses, and one of my teachers, Erica Othen, talked about Chiron as if he was the golden healer. And I absolutely love that description because it matches his energy. He was the first astrologer. He was the first initiate into the mystery schools. He taught all of the other, like the children of the gods, the kids of the gods. He was like the teacher of the kids of the gods. It's so funny. But in mythology, that's literally what he did. And he was teaching Hercules how to shoot the arrows, and Hercules accidentally shot him with a poison arrow, and he shot him on the foot. And so he became wounded, and because he's immortal, hey Rebecca, hey Erica, he was going to be in pain forever for like immortality. So what happens is there's another mythological god who was getting punished for giving fire to the humans, and it was Prometheus, and he was tied to a rock. His punishment was to be tied to a rock, and the eagle would swoop down and eat his liver every day, and then overnight it would grow back, and then the eagle would come down again the next day and eat the liver and then go back. So what happened is Chiron gave up his immortality for Prometheus. So he in his wounding, he basically surrendered and allowed like the full transformation, which is the death ritual. It's like you die and you're transformed. So he let go of his immortality, took the place of Prometheus, and finally died. And so it's an interesting story, but there's a lot more that goes through this creature, Chiron. He's also a centaur, and a centaur is the half horse, half human creature. And the reason he was different from the other centaurs was because he was not a drunk. All of the other centaurs were like drunks, and he was actually very different from the other ones. So also the centaur is also the Sagittarius constellation, so there's a connection to that energy. Chiron's glyph, this is also really cool. I'm kind of getting into some cool stuff here that I don't normally do. Chiron's glyph looks like a key, and it's like he holds the key to our deep soulful healing. Wherever he's in our chart, whatever sign he's in our chart, he tells us how to heal. He tells us the key to healing, and it has to do with the sign and the house and all that stuff. For the collective right now, he is in the sign of Aries. And so the healing or the wounding that we're experiencing right now that's showing up for the collective is our identity. Aries is all about identity. Aries rules the first house of our sense of self, our bodies, our like who we are, how we present ourselves to the world, our personality, how we define ourselves. And right now that's the collective wound. We don't know who the hell we are. And we're struggling through finding identity. I mean, look at what's going on with all of the different sort of sexual identity things that have been going on for like that have been getting sort of like it's been getting bigger and bigger in the last, few years of people identifying themselves as different than what they're normally like identified as by the culture or the society or whatever. And this is the confusion that's going on in the world right now, is that we may appear to be something, but really deep within, we feel like that's not who we really are. And we're trying to find ourselves. Now, that was just an example, but this goes for everything. It's like this can be another example can be, you find yourself in a certain type of family or a certain type of family cult, and you're expected to be a certain way or do a certain thing or study a certain thing. And that's not who you are inside. And that's not who you want. That's not what you want to do. And so right now we're like coming out of the cave. Oh, there's a beautiful Nako song called Seven Feathers, I believe. We're coming out of our caves. And that's literally what this is. We're learning about who we are. We're trying to understand who we are. We're trying to define ourselves. That's the Chiron journey that the collective is on right now. Now, if you have Chiron in Aries, that means that this is the time where you're nearing your Chiron return. It happens every 50 years. So at around 50 years old, Chiron returns to the sign that you were in. when you were born. And that means that you're completing that journey, that you finally are discovering who you are. And it's taken that long to figure it out, right? Because it's a long journey to like return home in a way. And so that's what's going on with the collective. Now, on the other side of, and there's a lot going on this week. I sent out the Moon Magic Report. I'll just point some things out. We're going to see this crazy T-square between the sun and the nodes. And this is challenging. This is like challenging us about destiny. Where are we at in life? And in the individual videos, I'm going over what that means for you based off of mostly your rising sign. So make sure you watch your rising sign for the astrology, and then whatever sun, moon, Venus, and rising for all of the tarot readings. But this is something that's going to be happening very soon. You can also see here that there is a grand trine. And we've talked about this last week a little bit because Venus was officially trining Saturn, and they're both trining the North Node, which is destiny, collective destiny. This is pointing towards the South Node, which is our past, clearing the past, letting go of the old, making space for the new. But what's happening really strongly this week, and this is happening on Thursday, so tomorrow actually, or probably already feeling it, is the opposition, the exact opposition, because if you can see, Venus is at 12 degrees of Libra, 12 minutes. That's got to be, who knows numerology here? That's a powerful number. And Chiron himself is also at 12 degrees and 12 minutes. That's where the conjunction is happening. So 12, 12, 12, 12. That's a big deal. So the opposition between two planets creates a duality where on one side you have something that one planet wants. On the other side, it's like the complete opposite of what's going on. And depending on what planets they are, they activate each other in a certain way. There's a really powerful book written by Barbara Handclough. And I love this book. This has been the most powerful book that I've seen written on Chiron. It's called Chiron, the Rainbow Bridge Between the Inner and the Outer Planets. She actually argues in this book that Chiron rules the sign of Virgo. And I actually definitely agree with her. It makes a lot of sense to me. But in this book, she goes over how what happens when there's oppositions to Chiron, when there's squares to Chiron, when there's sextiles, when there's conjunctions. And we saw, this is the aspect that I talked about during the full moon in Aquarius, where we started to see this dynamic between Venus and Chiron. It was the opposition. And I read about it, but I want to read it to you guys again because I think there's such meaningful symbolism within this opposition, way beyond what we could imagine. Like on a basic level, the things that we could say about Venus opposing Chiron is that we become highly sensitive to other people. Compassion becomes stronger, because that's how Chiron was. And then Venus, especially in her dignified sign of Libra, she feels the best. Also, attraction can be in relationships can be because you share a similar wound together. Like you have it can be like trauma bonding kind of a thing. That can be Venus opposed Chiron. It can also be more, it's really more about the relationship to yourself than the relationship to other people. And that's something that I always feel like you always have to think about, how is this affecting you at a deep level, and how is it resonating with you at a deep level? So hello, Christina Maria, welcome in. So here's what Barbara Handclough says about Venus opposing Chiron. Oh, wow. Chiron opposite Venus creates a receptivity to the alchemical nature of Venus, which is almost overpowering. The native is completely receptive to others, and unless great control is indicated in the chart by other planetary positions and aspects, he or she is very nervous. The native is alluring, often seems to be from another planet, and often has unusual intuitive understanding of the esoteric because of the ancient occult connection with Venus. The orbit of Chiron is very elliptical, and many researchers, including Velikovsky, have brought forth much evidence of a severe disbalancing of the orbit of Venus around 1500 BC, when I believe Chiron died. Many of the most hidden teachings are connected to such theories, which relate Venus to catastrophic cycles, already discussed in chapter 2. Venus rules Eros, the feminine receptive power, to Uranian Kundalini energy. The teachings involve opening ourselves to this energy, and the experience is chaotic to some degree. Since receptivity is consciousness, in consciousness, is strongly related to the level of fear in the psyche of any individual. Many researchers, including myself, believe there is a great collective amnesia about a catastrophe involving Venus around 1500 BC. This can manifest as a dissociative anxiety complex, which attaches itself to any potential fear in the environment. Esoteric mastery training investigates the secrets of Venus eventually, and much of this training has to do with breaking through fear. Now, with research on Chiron and the coming work on Nibiru, the awareness of the relation of the 1500 BC catastrophe to Venus, Chiron, and Nibiru will grow. And natives with Chiron opposite Venus will have a primary ability to understand this deep level of the occult. Aleister Crowley, master occult wizard with Chiron opposite Venus, is a great example of this dynamic. So if you have Chiron opposed Venus in your chart, you probably feel like super activated, super sensitive to other people. And collectively, everything that I just read is what we're feeling. Like there's a deep, it's like an activation, with Chiron being the rainbow bridge between the inner planets and the outer planets. And with relationships being such a big, like the most important part of humanity is our relating to other people. This opposition is a very powerful one, not only because it's rare, but because Venus is in her natural home sign of Libra. So she is the celestial goddess in the sign of Libra. And so she's embodying her power. She's at her most powerful. And so this is also about finding ourselves, our sense of selves, Chiron and Aries, within our relationships, and realizing that there are deep wounds that we are healing within ourselves. And these wounds they're freaking showing up in the collective. They're just like in our faces. There's so much that is going on right now that it is overwhelming. It becomes almost out of control. And to get through the energy of this week, what it requires of us is to find that clarity, is to be aware of what's showing up. It's to awaken to it and to realize that there's more going on here than just Venus opposite Chiron. It's like ancient wisdom coming through. It's the occult, it's esoteric knowledge coming through. And it's coming through at a level that is like alchemizing all of us and making us so much more sensitive to everything out in the world. And so especially those of us that already know we're empaths, we're already feeling the fear that's going on in the world. We're feeling the anxiety. All of these things are like heightened, right? So it's very, very, it can become a very intense energy to deal with because we have to face those fears. And like Barbara Handclough said, transmute those fears, transcend those fears, and find ourselves find our own identity within the collective. That's very Aquarian age stuff, because the Aquarian age is about the people, but it's not about everybody being the same. It's about everyone being different and unique, but being a collective and working together. And I think this is the collective wound that is showing up in the world this week. And it is like intense. It's intense. So that's what we're talking about. And so I'm going to go through and tell you with each of the zodiac signs where this energy is happening in your chart. So like the two houses that are being affected for you based off of your rising sign mostly, but sun, moon, Venus, and rising as well. There'll be messages throughout the whole thing. I'm going to use my astrology deck because I feel like a deep connection to astrology since Chiron was the first astrologer. So I'll use the astrology cards. I'm going to pull one card for each of the signs. And then I'm also going to work with the tarot deck, or not the tarot deck, with the astro dice to come up with an even deeper message. So let me switch back to here, but actually I'm going to actually come over here so I can put the names of the signs on the screen. And if anyone would be willing to do some timestamps after the video is over so people can find their sign more easily, that would be amazing. Kim says, my Chiron is in Aries too. So that means Venus is opposing your Chiron right now in your chart. Michelle says, my Chiron is in Aries. I've been healing the catastrophe memory wound for years. And then Rebecca says that she has that alignment in her chart. Niesha, hello, welcome in. Yeah, collective wound for sure. So I've got the cards to tell us which sign's going to go first. So let's go ahead and go and dive deep into the zodiac. All right. Let's see. When does it want to stop? Here we go. All right, here we go. Oh, cool. So we're starting with Libra, who is where Venus is right now. So if you're a Libra, Sun, Moon, Venus rising, mostly rising, you're going to be experiencing this in your first house. So first and seventh, that's the duality. So you're seeing Venus transiting through your first house where you feel a very powerful activation of the goddess within you, the embodiment of the goddess. And then on the other end of the spectrum, Chiron transiting your seventh house is like relating to, it's the wound in your identity wound within your relationship. So for you, this is a very clear expression, a very kind of transparent expression of this duality. It's happening within your sense of self, your first house, and your relationships, your seventh. So it's very, very much activated exactly as the message comes through. The card that you get is I surrender. I surrender. And it is the 12th house of the divine. We also pulled, believe it or not, we pulled Venus in Capricorn in the second house for you with the astro dice. So we'll talk about that in a moment. But the 12th house is the house of divinity. So listen for the spiritual messages coming through this week. Venus is definitely bringing them to you. Venus in the sign of Libra is the celestial goddess. The 12th house is the celestial house. So she's coming through with a very serious message for you, especially with the astro dice and Venus in Capricorn. Venus in Capricorn is serious. Like, this is a serious message. This is a sobering message that's coming through to you. It's about taking responsibility for your self-esteem, taking responsibility for your confidence this week, taking responsibility for what you're bringing into your life, how you're grounding yourself, what are you aligning with, how are you moving through life in a way that makes you feel like you are actually connecting with the earth. That's a big deal with a Taurus. It's also the Empress energy. So it's the fruits that come from the trees that you get to experience. So like, if you are in that kind of taking responsibility for your actions and for what you're bringing into your life, if you're in that space, that's where you're going to actually feel the most strong, the most centered, like the bull, which is the second house. And also the second house is ruled by Taurus, which is the other sign that Libra is in dignity in. So there's a lot of Venus energy for you this week, of course, because this is the planet that's involved in this aspect. But it is about listening to the messages that come through from the divine and taking responsibility for everything that you're bringing into your life. All right, that is for Libra. The next sign we get is Taurus. So let's put Taurus up on the screen. Here we are. So Taurus is having that's so interesting. The two signs that Venus rules came out first. So Taurus is having a 6th house transit, which means that Venus is in your 6th house and Chiron is in your 12th house. So that's the 6th and 12th house duality. This is a very powerful celestial connection to a divine connection. Another aspect where you're channeling from the divine, Chiron in the 12th house is the subconscious wounds, that things are coming to light. And then in the 6th house of being present, you have to manifest it here. You have to be present with it. You can't run away from it at all. The card that you get is the waning gibbous moon, releasing gratitude, nurture, and acts of service. That's very chirotic. That's a very strong Chiron energy. Acts of service. Chiron is about service. So the waning gibbous moon is also about the energy dissipating. Right now the moon is waning gibbous. We just had the full moon in Aquarius this weekend, and the moon is waning, and so it's a time to relax and let go and feel the gratitude, release anything that doesn't serve you. So that's what this week is all about for you, and nurturing yourself. Definitely nurturing yourself. You get Saturn in Cancer in the 1st house. That is a super interesting combination. Saturn in Cancer is in the opposite sign. So what that tells me is that there's some you're experiencing, which is again a duality, or we're talking about an opposition. Saturn is at home in Capricorn. He's in detriment in Cancer. He doesn't like being there because Cancer is the emotions, and Saturn doesn't like the emotions because it makes him feel like he's out of control. So you're having a dynamic within yourself that makes you're confused about whether to go with your feelings or whether to go with your rationality. Whatever's coming up for you this week with this Venus opposed Chiron is you're not sure which one. So here's the key. The key, Chiron, is to both allow your emotions to feel heard and to be expressed, and at the same time understand that emotions alone will not help you figure things out, that you need to use your logical mind, that you need to use your rational mind, that you need to be sound of mind in order to really fully understand what is going on and how this is affecting you at a very personal level, because the 1st house is the house of the self and the identity. So it is a time for you to don't push it so hard, kind of relax, but also find that balance between your emotions and your rational mind. Don't feel like one should be that you should be struggling, because they're both allowed to be here present at this time. And that's for Taurus. Ooh, I really like these messages, are really cool. So next we've got Virgo, Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising. There we go, Virgo. Virgo is having a 2nd house transit. So that means that Venus is in your 2nd house while Chiron is in your 8th. So 2nd and 8th house duality is change and transformation, also finances, also money, also what you bring into your life, yourself, and also your resources. But there's a balance between drama and stability, and that's really what this is about. And by the way, happy birthday, Virgo. This is your season. The sun just moved into your sign, so very, very cool. The card that you get is I have. Look at that, the 2nd house. So while Venus is in your 2nd house, you also get the 2nd house. So second confirmation that what you need to focus on right now is stability. Not the 8th house, not the other end of the spectrum. You need to focus on stability and groundedness. And let's see what the Astro dice bring up for you. We got Saturn again. Saturn comes up. This time he's in Gemini and he's in the 3rd house. So again, Saturn is a very serious, grounded, responsible energy. In Gemini, what he ends up doing is he ends up wanting to really communicate, wanting to express himself, being more serious than playful, because Gemini can be very playful, and Saturn in Gemini is like, well, Saturn is the teacher and Gemini is like the Mercury pretty much rules astrology. The planet Mercury is like, he's the messenger of the gods, but he's also the alchemist, the magician in the tarot. I mean, there's a lot that Mercury, he's the alchemist. So like, this is the magic. Saturn is a teacher. So in Gemini, he's teaching truth. He's speaking truth. He's speaking truth to you. And it's the third house, which is ruled by Gemini. So this week, while this opposition is going on between Venus and Chiron, you are to focus on stability, but also expressing yourself in a way where you're teaching yourself or you're teaching others by what you have to say and what you have to express. That can be through words, speaking, singing, writing, journaling. It doesn't matter. But all of those things are going to help you understand and move through this energy of this opposition that's affecting all of us within our relationships, but individually, these energies are coming out with these readings. So it's definitely about getting serious about what is your truth, taking responsibility about what is your truth, and taking responsibility over expressing what that truth is for you. All right. Next is Cancer. Cancer. All right. So Cancer is having a transit of the fourth house. So Venus is currently transiting the fourth, and so the opposite is the 10th. So this has to do with home versus career for you. This opposition. It's like the relationships that are being affected are like your family relationships, and then your career, your life path. There's an opposition there. It's like you're trying to find out who you are, and then one thing may not match the other. This is very much like I was talking about in the beginning, where like you feel like you're born into the wrong family or something like that, and then you feel lost your whole life. Oh my God, not even making this up, you get Chiron. Wow. So the wounded healer himself shows up. He's saying this is the key. What's the key? The key is going to be the 3 dice that come through. All right. The key is Neptune in Leo. This is so interesting. In the 3rd house. So the key is to listen to your intuition, to express yourself to the fullest, to not be afraid to have fun, to not be afraid to allow your intuition to guide you straight to your heart. Leo is the lion in the heart. And when you feel that courage of the lion and that strength of the lion, you will realize that you have found your way of communicating, your way of expressing yourself, your truth, and you'll be able to speak that truth always. So this healing week for you with Chiron opposing Venus and your relationship is about your intuition, listening to your intuition, listening to like seeing the unseen and hearing the unheard, paying attention to your heart space, being courageous and speaking your truth. Whoa, that's really, really powerful for the Chiron card to come out for you, Cancer. All right, next we get Scorpio. Sun, Moon, Venus, and rising. So Scorpio is having a transit of Venus in the 12th and Chiron in the 6th. So that's another duality of the 6th and the 10th house, except it's the opposite of Taurus. So you have Chiron transiting the 6th house, which is the house of being present. So you're being asked to be present. The healing that's happening for you is very in your face. But Venus in your 12th is asking you to listen to your higher self, to listen to your divine self, to listen to the goddess, whether it's like the goddess of love and beauty or the moon goddess, just goddess energy, high priestess energy. Embodying that in your ethereal self is going to help you channel the healing through into this physical time-space reality, which is the 6th house, which Chiron finds himself in your chart right now. So let's see what card wants to come out for you. If you're just joining, you guys, make sure that you follow me. Oh, my little link's not up there, but follow me on Instagram at Channel for Grace. I'm back on Instagram. It's a whole new account, same name, but new account. So if you followed me before, you won't follow me now automatically. So you got to go in there and find me. But I'm really excited to be back, and I've been having a lot of fun on there. So first house, I am. I am. The concept of I am is a powerful concept. This is what we're talking about. Chiron and Aries. I am. What am I? I am. Let's see what the dice have to say. Who are you? Who are you, Scorpio? Ooh, interesting. The moon in the sign of Capricorn in the 5th house. One thing I want to point out is that we just got Saturn in Cancer and in the last couple of readings, and then in this one we get the moon in Capricorn. Those are both in their opposite signs. So this duality thing is really showing up strong right now this week. So we are going to feel the challenge. It's going to feel challenging because it feels like we're in the opposite place. We thought we should be over there, but we are actually over here. So that's the weirdness, that's the funkiness of it. So the moon in Capricorn is, and this is like what this is saying for you, I am moon in Capricorn in the 5th house right now, this week. I am experiencing moon in Capricorn in the 5th house. So the moon in Capricorn is, you may be restricting your emotions a little bit, and you may be not quite moving forward in the way that you actually you're not allowing yourself to express your emotions. And what this is, where this is occurring, is in the house of passion and creativity. So stop restricting yourself. Go with the flow. Let your intuition, your emotions are your guiding system. Let your intuition guide you all the way through, because your passion and your creativity can be restricted by Capricorn, because Capricorn, even though they are creative, they're much more structural and they're much more reserved, and they're much more like conservative energy. And so they are very strict with themselves, and they love rules and regulations, and creativity and passion is the opposite of that. It needs freedom. It needs full freedom to express itself. So that's what the moon in the 5th is about. Your emotions are activating your passion and your creativity. Listen to that and let go whatever's trying to restrict you. Capricorn is also the devil card. So this could be you dealing with addictions, things in your life that are no longer serving you, that you're letting go. And remember that the moon is waning gibbous, which means that this is a time to let go of anything that does not serve you in this moment. So it's a kind of that was an interesting reading, Scorpio. Very, very interesting. So next is Leo, and we're not going in order. I have shuffled the cards, so they're all random. But next we get Leo, and Leo is having a transit of Venus in the 3rd house, which means that Chiron is in your 9th. This is one of the dualities of the houses where it's communication and then higher knowledge, spiritual integration, and then how you communicate that integration within yourself. With Venus in the 3rd house, this is about focusing on communication within the relationships. With Chiron in your 9th, it's about integrating the wounds, like healing the wounds, integrating the wounds, learning more about the wounds that are coming up for you this week, or what you're feeling, what you're experiencing. And I just dropped your card. So let's see what you get. All right, Leo, you actually get Vesta. That she's the keeper of the sacred flame. Of course, it's the perfect energy. It's the perfect energy for Leo, you guys. Leo is ruled by the sun. It's a fire element. It literally, I mean, if I were to say, if you have Vesta in Leo, that's really cool, because the keeper of the sacred flame is the star, the sun. So that's what becomes so powerful about this energy, is that the part of what's going on this week is that you're learning how to channel that inner passion, that inner fire that never dies within you. Let's see what the the dice have to say. We've got Venus. You got Venus, which is really powerful, in Taurus, which is dignified in the first house. Yes, Leo and Taurus definitely get along. Okay, so here's the thing. Venus in Taurus is about sensuality, the comforts of life, doing things that make you feel safe and secure, connecting at a sensual level within your relationships. But it's also about embodying yourself in the first house as the Empress, like voluptuous. Like there's no other word for it. It's like it's growing, it's growth, it's full, like the full. It's the fruits that come from the tree, but it took so long to get to that point, but now they're here. It's enjoying the fruits of who you are, and you are that passion, you are that fire that never dies. So this week is going to feel, it's going to feel good for you because of this this energy, because the third and the ninth house are such a beautiful duality to learn and understand and integrate. So in your integration, you learn that you are at your best when you allow yourself to be in your courage, to be in your strength, and to be in your heart space, and to also embody those things that really only make you feel the best. And that includes both material things, mental, emotional things, like all those kinds of needs are what are being activated right now. Next, we get Sagittarius. Sagittarius, I just released your reading today, your Virgo season reading, so make sure you go check that out. Sagittarius and Gemini went out today. Tomorrow we'll do Capricorn and Cancer, and then the next day we'll do Aquarius and Leo. So Sagittarius is having an 11th and 5th house transit. So Venus is in your 11th house, and Chiron is in your 5th. So this is the duality of sharing your gifts with the world, and at the same time listening to your passion, using your passion and your creativity, like creating things and then sharing them out. Venus in the 11th is about sharing them with your loved ones, within your relationships, and Chiron in the 5th is about healing. Maybe you feel like you don't know what your creativity is. Maybe you feel like you don't know how to be passionate right now. You are having a very crazy South Node transit in Sag, and that's affecting Sagittarius very strongly. And so you're having to let go of the old you and step into the new you. So you're not really sure. Maybe there's a new aspect of you that you're learning, and that's actually really a really powerful way of expressing it, is to trust that that's what it is. You get the card of the lunar eclipse. Yep, exactly. Releasing the past, breakthroughs, pushing limitations, and healing. So where is this going to be affecting you the most? Let's see what the astro dice say. Neptune, the planet of intuition, in Taurus, the sign of stability and comfort, and in the 4th house of the home. In the 4th house of the home. So Neptune is your intuition. You need to ground yourself. You need to focus on home. This is where you've been feeling a lot of this at home. That's the biggest part of it. It's like home and family and loved ones have been taking kind of a big, this week at least, you feel like it's really like the accentuated space of healing for you. You're healing a lot here. Now, Neptune in Taurus is about your intuition, focusing on being grounded. So intuition, Neptune can take us out there. Neptune can help us escape. It can help us like just move like just somewhere else in the world and not really pay attention to what's in front of you, like escaping ourselves. But in Taurus, he brings you back down to earth. And so I think you're feeling like, okay, the compassion's coming in this week, the understanding, the love for others, and the knowing that like what really matters is really what's in front of you, and that's your family and your loved ones, and that's where you feel the the most intense sort of healing, awakening, lunar eclipse, revolutionary energy that's going on for you. I think there's a lot of revelations going on for you, and a lot of messages coming through, like your spirit guides are speaking to you very strongly. Look to nature to talk to you. Nature is definitely communicating with you and talking to you right now. Beautiful. All right, Gemini, here we go. The duality. I love it. We go from Sag to Gemini. And so this is going to be the opposite transit. So Gemini is going to have Venus in the 5th house instead of the 11th. So what you're getting is Venus activating your passion and your creativity. That's beautiful. And then Chiron in your 11th house is you're healing your relationships to others. You're healing your relationships with your friends, and you're learning who you are within that world of networking. How you share your gifts with the world might also be changing. You might be activating something new that you never did before. You get the waxing gibbous moon, which is about alignment, refinement, nurturing, patience, and evolution. The waxing gibbous moon is about growth. So you are definitely growing in this realm of creativity and passion and sharing your gifts with the world. Let's see what else the Astro Dice want to say to you. How interesting. Saturn, the teacher, in Libra, he actually likes to be in Libra. He's like the judge, but he's in the 12th house. So he has to surrender, because the 12th house is about surrender, to the wisdom that comes through deep from his soul. And he has to find the balance. So this is about you stepping into responsibility and finding balance for who you are, your spiritual essence. There's a balance that only your spiritual essence can activate here, that you can only understand through a deep spiritual sort of awakening. So that's what this is a growth period for you. You're learning how to be yourself in a more spiritual way, or you're learning to uncover the spiritual you. Wow, that's really beautiful. Gemini, I love it. All right, next we get Pisces. So Pisces, Sun, Moon, Venus, and rising. There we go. Pisces is having an 8th house transit. So Venus is in your 8th house of death, change, and transformation. So your relationships are definitely changing right now. There's definitely a big, powerful change going on. And then Chiron in your 2nd is asking you to focus on where does your self-esteem come from? You know, who are you in terms of when you ask yourself, who am I? What comes up? And how does that relate to your confidence and who you feel you are? You get Juno. So Juno is the asteroid of marriage and relationships and sacred unions. So this is dealing with a relationship that is either a soulmate or someone who you've had past lives with, someone who you may feel very deep connection to. They are here to teach you something. So this is beyond just regular relationships for you. This is about a sacred relationship, this whole dynamic that's going on this week. And you get, wow, Saturn's coming out a lot. Saturn in Cancer, again, in the 11th house. So again, becoming responsible, but also allowing your emotions to don't restrict your emotions. That's not really what you want to do. You want to actually share your wisdom that you learned through your emotional body with everyone. That's part of your gift, is to share the wisdom, share the compassion, share the intuition, and knowing that that's also it's not immature to allow yourself to feel, right? It's actually a very beautiful, natural expression of being human, is expressing our emotions. So you're learning to realize how actually that's a gift and not something that hinders you from everyone else because it's like you're too emotional or something. So it's about sharing your powerful gift. As a teacher, you are a teacher of the emotions. You're a teacher of understanding our intuition. You're a teacher of understanding that dynamic of who we are. And when you express it and you share it with the world, that's when you teach others, you teach yourself, and you show your, who you really are within your relationships. All right, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Venus, and rising. Here we go. Aquarius is having a 9th house transit. So Venus is in your 9th house while Chiron is in your 3rd. So similar to the Leo vibe. With Venus in your 9th, you're spiritually integrating, but you're also embodying the celestial goddess as you integrate the lessons within the relationships that are showing up for you. And Chiron in the 3rd is like, can you communicate in a healthy way? Can you communicate in a way that helps people to understand where they are at? And so that everybody feels heard. You can express your pain and your sorrow and what you're experiencing, but also you're open to being in a kind of grounded space, in a healing space. When you talk about yourself, when you talk about what you're experiencing in your life, when you express your inner truth, which a lot of us hold so much trauma inside. And when we finally come out with it, that's part of the healing process. And that's what is coming up for you this week. The card that you get, is the 11th house. So this is about, and it's I connect. So it's about connecting with people at a deeper level. Let's see, in which ways will you be connecting this week more strongly? Okay, emotionally, the moon, in Aries, taking action, and in the 3rd house. Well, there we go. That's confirmation that communication and expressing your truth is very, very important for you this week. You may also be a little impulsive this week, and that's fine. We just had 2 full moons in your sign, so the impulse to just be like, it's like it's normal, it's natural, but you may be a little impulsive, so you have to emotionally impulsive. So instead of like throwing your energy out there in terms of relationships, you need to remind yourself to be in sacred space with your emotions, but to also take action, meaning to actually express what you feel, to actually say what you want to say. Don't hold back, but also don't hurt with your words. Think about it before you say something, before you express yourself. But definitely this is going to be a very intense emotional week for you, Aquarius. All right, here we go. Capricorn is next. So Capricorn is having a 10th house transit. So Venus is in your 10th and Chiron is in your 4th. So this is about focusing on business relationships, which you're probably like, oh yeah, that's good. I like that. But business relationships are a big deal right now. And then where you're doing most of your healing is in your relationships at home and with family. You get the 4th house. I belong. So Chiron in the 4th is about, do I belong here? Where do I belong? Do I feel home? Do I actually feel home here? This is the what's coming up for you. This is what's challenging you right now. And let's see what the astro dice have to add to that. Uranus in Pisces, of all things, interesting, in the 5th house. Okay, that's very, very interesting because Uranus rules electricity. And in Pisces, like holy mother of God, like getting electrocuted. Now, I don't mean that literally, like at all. I just mean an electrifying, like very intense, like fully consuming. And it's an electrifying of the emotions, of your compassion. So I think this can be a lot for Capricorn because Capricorns tend to be wary of like too much emotional expression. because then they feel out of control, and especially in the 5th house. Okay, so your creativity and your passion are like, you're getting this lightning bolt of like love, and I think you're going to find the answers that you're looking for, and they're going to come through your creativity. So allow yourself to flow in the infinite, because that's what Pisces is all about. Flow in the infinite and let the activation just carry you forward and see what starts to come up for you. Wow. I think that's a really, really powerful reading. And then last but not least is Aries, Sun, Moon, Venus, and rising. And Aries is having a 7th house transit. So Venus is in your 7th of relationships. So that's going to feel really good because she's at home there. And so that brings harmony to your relationships. But Chiron in your 1st is like, are you the same person that you were before? Like, have you discovered who you are? And if you haven't, then this opposition is going to help you discover that. Let's see what card you get. What on earth? Saturn again. Saturn comes out again. Okay, so it's time to become responsible. This is about setting boundaries, limitations, delays, and becoming and taking responsibility. So in what way are you here? Are you supposed to take this responsibility? Get the F out of here. We pulled Saturn again. Oh my God. In Libra, which rules the 7th house, except in the 6th house of work and being present. Okay. Damn, Saturn comes out twice. This is kind of crazy. So taking responsibility for your life, taking responsibility for what happens every day, from the moment you wake up till the moment you go to sleep, finding more balance and harmony in your everyday schedule, like taking care of yourself, self-care, really important. Allowing yourself to weigh the options, always weigh the options, not making rash decisions, and also being responsible enough to take responsibility for when you do make mistakes and you're not fair and you're not balanced, because Aries tends to be just go, like make a decision right now and don't even think about it. But Saturn is like, no. You need to think about it, because whatever choice you make right now is going to affect you. It's going to affect your relationships. It's going to affect how much like harmony you will find in your life. And it's going to affect like literally your life on an everyday basis. So, wow. Super powerful readings today, you guys. Thank you for being here. We got through all the signs. Thank you for your support here in the chats. I appreciate you guys very, very much. I hope that, the father energy is coming through strong, very strong. I hope that you guys have a beautiful rest of your week. Make sure to check out the links in the description. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at Channel for Grace. Check out the videos I just put out, Sag and Gemini, and we've put out a few more since then. And watch the weekly reading, which, dude, it was so intense. The Tower card in the weekly reading really came through strong. And I can just feel that so strongly this week. So anyways, thank you again. And I will see you all again on Friday. I'll be here for mini readings. And between now and then, I'll be posting some more of the Virgo season videos. And have a beautiful week. And I'll see you guys again very soon. Sat Nam.